We now know that these people are class, right? We know that yachting is class, right? It's all elegance. So what is our first drink? Tosh has prepared leg spreaders.
I'm just so glad. I guess it would have been good TV, but I don't know if I would have been able to handle it had she presented those as leg spreaders to them. I was like, please don't.
Please do. Tosh and the guy that sold me Coke for the first time make the exact kind of drink. They make the exact kind of drink. Welcome aboard. Another brand spanking new episode of Another Below Deck Podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
Ahoy, mateys.
He's back from BravoCon. Everybody excited to hear about it. Pat produced the podcast over there behind my glasses.
Permission to come aboard.
Permission granted. So, public service announcements to get out of the way. Nick has made his heroic return back from the East Coast. He went behind enemy lines, infiltrated BravoCon, like a thief in the night, to quote Donna Brazil. We're going to break...
They stole those emails.
Yeah, but how did you... Why were you giving Hillary Clinton the... We don't want to get into politics. It's just a great quote from Donna Brazil, like a thief in the night. So, we're going to be breaking down Nick's entire voyage, journey on a show called Another Podcast Show.
It's where we gab and goof about whatever's top of mind.
Yeah,
and right now, what's on top of my mind is my trip. I'm elated.
Right.
Still on the come down. It was a good time.
Yeah, really good time. A lot of really good content coming. If you're not subscribed to Another Podcast Show, subscribe to Another Podcast Show.
Yeah.
Another show you need to subscribe to is Bad TV. It's the new property. We're covering Winter House. We're covering The Real Housewives. I believe we said...
You're the closest now. We moved the board towards you.
Which one am I? I don't want to mess with you guys.
That one.
Thank you.
Turn me up in the cans. What was I saying? Oh, we mentioned that
Donna
we were going
Brazil.
to be we were going to be doing Love Is Blind on Bad TV. That was not. It was true at the time, but we decided to change that. So Love Is Blind season 3 is coming.
I don't even give a... I mean, even if we were lying the time, which we weren't, we changed our minds, which is fine. We have complete agency to do
we have
so.
agency
It's our
over our
prerogative.
own bodies.
But we can lie to free people. They're not paying us. We can't lie to Patreons and take stuff away from them.
So, hey, listen to this, fucking cheapos. We're putting Love Is Blind behind the paywall, okay? If you want to listen to us break down Netflix's Love Is Blind, brought to you, by Nick and Vanessa Lachey, go to patreon.com/anotherpodcast network.
And you know what I just realized? These people most likely don't even give a fuck about Love Is Blind. And we have good news for you. We were going to put Below Deck Adventure behind the paywall, but now we're not, because we're getting more...
Yay!
We giveth and we taketh away.
Yeah, so you're getting a bunch of stuff for free. That means you jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews, leave 5 stars, kind words, help us grow the show, tell your friends, tell your family, steal credit cards.
Whoa. We're giving away a bunch of stuff for free. That means then you should feel like you need to head over to that Patreon thing and give us $5, for the effort.
All right.
We're like a church. We're just going to pass around the coffer and put some fucking money in.
Keep your fucking reviews.
This is prosperity gospel. We have a episode of Below Deck to talk about. I think it's episode 15, 16, can't remember.
It's 16.
It's the dog days.
And they're talking about, did I hear Dangerous Dave say, I don't know, I can do 2 more charters. Whoa. 2 more charters. No, this is episode 16. There's only 2 more episodes of this.
Ooh, because we're like right there at Pots and Nuts. Last PSA. It's one of those nights. 75 ads. Ad-free episodes. Patreon.com. $10, ad-free. $10, ad-free. Let's get into Pots and Pots.
Oh, sure.
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Let me just say this. It was just a basic episode. We're winding down. It was sad to see Dave take a couple steps backward. So I felt bad for him. Yeah. I almost wanted to call him, but this happened 8 months ago, and so it wouldn't do any good. Be like some Back to the Future shit. Anyway, Reed, I'm not Reed, I'm not enjoying not caring about you and what comes out of your mouth. No one asked for a Dr. Phil. He is my vote for the most annoying person that works on this boat. I could do with a little less Reed. That being said, let's see.
Reed needs to read the room.
Nice. Yeah, man. I think this season's winding down. I think we're ready for a reunion or whatever Andy does.
Yeah, a little Zoom conference.
Yeah. And so Zero.
Right. Nick?
Yeah, I can't believe there's 2 charters. That alarmed me as well.
You got that.
You know what's alarming me? Let's take a look at the state of Nick's phone right now, right?
Nick, you make a lot of money.
The iPhone 14 just came out. You're a gearhead. You got to go get yourself one of those.
I'm going to, but
oh my
you're
God.
in meetings with important people. You can't bring that in there.
I don't. I have. This is what I do. People are always like, oh, why are you walking around without a case? You're going to break it. Yeah, I know. But then you break it and then you put the case on. I have one of those very thin cases that I've been using. This has been broken for a couple months.
Right.
I didn't even know.
Right, my bad.
Exactly. So I have a strategy, but I am getting the 14. I love new things. Yeah, episode is okay. 72 knots. I said I was going to do that.
You can pop that fucking, that new one on your laptop. Have you seen that? And then it does like a bird's eye view camera.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool? So you can be like a Tasty making brownies in a cast iron skillet.
Since I went pretty brief with my thoughts and knots, could I at some point during the episode, and you could decide when, but I do feel like we have to get in the episode. But as I'm going to give my full recap of BravoCon on APS, I would like to talk just a little bit about specifically within the below deck world, what I thought were the winners and losers of the below deck world from BravoCon.
Oh, interesting.
Should we just do it right now?
Here?
Yeah, I could do it quick.
Yeah, let's just do it right now.
Huge loser.
I give it 4 pots. It wasn't that great of an episode. Go.
2 huge losers. Captain Sandy.
Oh, wow.
People overheard her being extremely rude. This was on Bravo and Cocktails. While waiting in line for the bathroom, I saw Captain Sandy come out from behind a staging area. She made eye contact with one of the people in line for the bathroom and said, "Ugh, normal people." Turned right back around and went back into the staging area.
Okay, that's got to be a lie.
No, there were lots of reports of her just being very, very standoffish on the first day. And then the next day, I don't know. I know she's sober, but if I had to guess, she was on pills because she was very effusive, passing out in the Bravo Palooza.
Allegedly. Who is that character that gets run over in SNL? He's that claymation
Jack
guy.
Handy? I'm sorry. Oh.
Yeah, that guy. That's what Captain Sandy looked like. She's like,
Oh, no.
yeah, flattened on that couch. Nick sent us a picture that he took when he was behind enemy lines. Go ahead.
Winners, Captain Jason, Captain Glenn, Captain Lee, actually, and Kate. Only good things said about them.
Wow.
Kate's a star. Kate is essentially a producer for Bravo now. Captain Jason was so grateful to be there, to the point when he first came out for his photo opportunity, saw the line waiting for him, he started crying.
Oh, my
Really?
Yeah,
God.
Captain Jason's the man. Captain Jason's the man. Another big loser, Kyle.
Kyle, you can't talk about Kyle
So
that
much
way.
tea.
Not invited to BravoCon as talent. Showed up anyways. They allowed him on stage.
Smart move.
They announced that Frasier is going to be the chief stew.
Oh, they just announced the cast of and Chef Rachel's on.
That's Below Deck Adventure.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know who the chef for Below Deck Reg that starts in November is going to be, but Frasier is going to be the chief stew, and they announced that on the Below Deck panel. And then Kyle would just like try to take it over, and he stepped on his moment. He went up in front of the stage and he did a twirl. And then I heard some tea. I don't even know if I should say this one.
Oh, no, say it.
He was like trying to schedule like a Below Deck after party event right during a Bravo thing, to the point he formatted a group text that literally looked like a publicist. Like he wrote it and it said when, where, talent, with a list of people.
Oh, boy.
And instructions.
No, hey, why is he a loser? I know he stepped on Frasier's toes, but wouldn't we do that given the opportunity? I mean, you went there. You basically you weren't invited to BravoCon, and you got your ass kicked out of there.
And then I went back. But the point,
You'll hear about it on another podcast.
when I say winners, losers, I mean the perception of their own community. Kyle's becoming a pariah, and I also heard he's on the next season of Below Deck Med. Toomey's chief stew. That's not announced yet, and Kyle doesn't have a great season.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
So there's my winners and losers from Below Deck
That's
and
what
BravoCon
happens
22.
when you go
2022.
behind the ropes and you find out all the tea. And let me say something else about Kyle. I'm over it.
Okay.
You know, he was on the side of the road, blew us off for that one C-Rad interview. I don't think we need to schedule any more interviews with Kyle. And if you're listening, Kyle, that ship sailed, buddy. I mean, we could have had a lovely conversation with you, and who knows, maybe we'll do it in the future, but
one more winner.
I'm over it.
I would be remiss. My new, and if you guys ever meet him, your lifelong friends, Kelly and Sarah from Above Deck Pod. Couldn't have been sweeter ladies. We went out and got espresso martinis together.
Oh, wow.
And they're a really good actually foil to us. If you find us a little off color, go listen to Above Deck Pod. They want to be where you can listen in the car with the kids. Great ladies.
Right.
And we all agreed rising tides lift all boats. I actually we did a little impromptu podcast in the thing.
Oh, I'll be checking his bank statements to see if you got a little payment for this huge plug you're giving them.
Can we get into the show?
Oh, sure.
Kelly and Sarah, big winners.
So here's how intense this whole thing is, This whole thing with Natalia and Kyle fighting. Here's how intense this whole thing is. We don't even get an intro. We don't roll an opening with the uplifting house music and the spins and the smiles because the 15th fight between these two is way too cray to get bogged down with all that mess. The to be continued cards, the music stings, the skipping of the intros, not skipping of the intros. It is all over the fucking place. It is like the manatees picking out the balls to write Family Guy jokes. They're just like, fuck it. This week, no intro. This week to be continued. It's just, So,
I think they're trying to A/B test ways to bring up the ratings. Like, let's go no intro. Maybe let's give a really long recap to try to show the drama.
Right.
Let's do to be continued. They're trying anything, but hey, if there's no drama, there's no drama. Let's end this season. Why is there another charter?
There's no drama.
Sometimes I like the drama of the dinners and stuff, but I have to tell you, this season of dinners, what a bum out. There hasn't been one dinner. I know they're supposed to fight like the housewives. They say, all right, you're all here, start fighting each other. But it seems like maybe they're taking the playbook too seriously.
We've spoken about it before, but the nest of the water moccasins that are the sea rats, they're not in a ball of snakes. This body of water is not being utilized. Nobody is sucking, nobody is fucking, and that is kind of a testament to the strength of the other parts of this season. But yeah, when we go out, we know nothing's getting messy. The only thing that is going to happen is Storm's going to go big spoon Natalia and then get kicked the fuck out of her bunk. That's it, and Kyle's going to cry a little bit.
If I were to ask you to name a movie by John Travolta or Tom Hanks, could you answer in under 15 seconds? Could you? Could you say Grease? Could you say Castaway? Could you say Grease 2? You could, but that would be wrong. You wouldn't get any points. And that's why trivia is so much fun. Trivia Star is what we're talking about today. It's a free mobile trivia game with over 60 different categories that you get to choose from, including music, TV, animals, celebrities. If you choose the correct answer for multiple choices that beat the clock, you move on to the next level. Dudes, I love dudes and gals, everybody listening, theys, thems, pets. Everybody, I love this game so much. If you love trivia like I do, you'll love it too, okay? Trivia Star has thousands of 5-star reviews in the Apple Store. It's the #1 trivia game in the App Store. Download it today to challenge yourself. Just go to Apple or Google Store and search for Trivia Star. Download Trivia Star for free today and get ready. Flex those brain muscles. Trivia Star.
So let's get back to the table. Kyle goes off with Ursula, and she regurgitates her really productive words of wisdom. You don't need to apologize for flaming your coworker in front of guests, which is just wild and is kind of the whole reason we're here. Mm-hmm. Storm sits with Natalia to cheer her up / try to use this time to clear up all the awkwardness of their relationship. Storm, what are you doing? Not now, Storm. It's not a good time. Jesus, man. Shut up, Storm?
Shut up, Storm, but it kind of worked out for him later. Not going to get it home myself.
Natalia says she wants to leave, so naturally Storm stands up in a huff, and Natasha, what a peach this sea witch is. She says, my team's really embroiled in a lot of drama, And I would look at her and just go, you're the one who has been stoking these fires, and for that we thank you. It's great TV.
Well, Natalia would also say that Natasha, as a manager, the whole reason they're fighting at this fucking dinner table when they should be throwing down espresso martinis and thinking about who you're going to bang that night in the jacuzzi.
Right.
is because Natasha didn't do her fucking job on the boat. If she had told Kyle, hey, stop calling her a bitch, or I'm going to have to, you're going to get a timeout there.
Right.
I even think she didn't even have to do that because it seemed like it was over once the apology happened. Had she not stoked the flame and told him he didn't need to do that, I think that's the real impetus for this fight. At surface level, you'd think it's because of Storm, because he was a filthy narc. Shut up, Storm. But
Right.
He was a part of it, but more Natasha.
Hey, a little...
Natasha literally says, I need to do something, but... and then it's just 1,000-yard stare.
You know, as I was watching this episode, I was thinking back to this weekend when I watched the Mario Batali documentary called The Rise and Fall of the Super Chef, Mario Batali. And it gets into the
They
weeds
show you that
of-
real-world footage of him in that room?
No.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Really?
Yeah.
They had plenty of footage on him, though. So it got me to thinking about the C-Rat job and how similar it is to the restaurant business. It's fraught with sexual harassment claims. And I was like, very much like a restaurant, they interviewed a girl that hated him, worked at a place called the Spotted Pig, one of his like hot spots where he'd grab
April
a lot
Bloomfield,
of ass.
yeah.
And, that's right. And they were saying there's no HR department in most restaurants.
Right.
And that's the same with these fucking yachts.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They need one, and also no more dinners.
No more dinners?
No more dinners with these
no
people.
No more?
I was bummed out.
The Deckies are doing great.
I wanted to go back to the boat and sleep.
The Deckies are doing great. And Natasha to her is the note I have, which isn't going to really help us here. But everyone gets back to the table at some point, and I don't know if everybody's back here or not, but Reed does take it upon himself to whisper like a conflict resolution cult leader. And this poor guy, he's just not ready to be on TV, I don't think. He hangs on his words a little too much. And when he watches this moment back where he spews out this horseshit line, the one thing I've learned about conflict resolution, keep it private, he's going to give himself the ick when he sees himself say that, because that's not a thing.
I think you
And
got
if
that
it
from...
is, if that's the one thing, if I've learned one thing about conflict resolution, it's to keep it private. That's just a nonsense thing to say.
Can I
Reed.
tell you something that 100% happened behind the cameras is producer Jared said, Reed, do you mind coming over here for a second? Why don't you go take a bathroom break, buddy? Get out of here.
You're yucking everybody out.
Yeah. And also, we live off conflict, so you're not helping anybody.
Reality TV is solely based on very public conflict.
Right.
If you keep it in private, then we're watching... What are we watching? Paint dry? Boat?
C-SPAN.
Yeah.
We're
Nice.
well, we'll get to his classroom where he learned conflict resolution later, that being bar fights in Tuscaloosa. Reed, fucking let people fight. You don't know these people.
I agree that we need conflict on the show, but I love Reed.
Heartbreaking moment. Natalia says to Kyle, "We're no longer friends," and Kyle says, "We never were." I mean, dagger. My God. Reed, shut up, block it out, and stay cool. No. He says to Kyle, block it out and say cool. There is a Dr. Phil aspect to him. He's like a poor man's Tony Robbins here. Natalia finally just says, please stop talking.
We haven't gotten much on Reed's C-Rep past, but he really sounds like a child of divorce, the way he just doesn't want anybody to fight at the dinner table. Can
Yes.
everything be okay?
He does sound like that. I think the more likely outcome is that he is a child of an intact marriage that wants to pry itself away from the other counterpoint as badly as possible, but due to the eternal hellfire that the two would find themselves
divorce
in,
and
should they be divorced, I think he's seen a lot of fights at the dinner table.
Every time Mom moved out for a couple days, Reed started cutting himself. So then they got back together. He actually kept them together.
Yikes! So, we come to find these lessons were learned at Barbell's in Tuscaloosa. I already said that. Natalia, with a great line of her own, she says, "This is the worst at-table behavior of our entire lives." My God, these lines are so oddly broad and specific at the same time. We head to a new setting, and I thought we were going to resolve the worst table behavior of our lives, but alas, we do not. Nat gets up. Storm comes back and tells Z a story. And the story goes like this. I found you a McDonald's. I went inside. I ordered 6 cheeseburgers. They said, we're closed. To which Z responds, "Go chat to your woman." Now, we could get into the specifics of this story because it was really confusing to me. How do you enter into the establishment, get the order out, then be told that it's closed? But we've got a lot more show to cover. I don't know.
They're like, "Sir, this is a Wendy's."
So,
You ever heard that?
no, I haven't. What is that?
People just will say that like when someone's like really out of pocket, but this actually applies.
Oh, right.
It's fast food.
Right. So Courtney, I have heard that. I'm a millennial. So Courtney tells Storm to leave with Natalia. And Natalia kind of audibly icks out at that. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah. This is where Court told her, like, you should probably resolve this by talking it out, too.
She's like, well, why don't you take her home? And Natalia's like, yeah. Storm's like, I don't think she wants to. But it turned out to work out pretty decent, actually. They do kind of make out a bit after. And then ultimately what happens will always happen. He'll head to the loo and use his tears as lubrication.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my book, Cracking the Code, Closing More, Ask for Less Money, there is a chapter where I say, wait it out. You can always wait it out. If you got nothing better to do, you put yourself in that position. She'll need a crying shoulder to, lay her head into and eventually do a little makeout session and then get you hard and then kick you out and you'll leave with blue balls and be very depressed.
In terms of the just fantastic advice you've got for young men in that book, which is soon,
all ages, Dylan.
Soon to hit Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble and places like that. If we can just get it through Simon & Schuster or whatever publishing house it's at. That's one of the worst pieces of advice I've really ever heard. You're telling young men to remain in the friend zone.
Well, if you got nothing to do. I'm sorry. It was called Always Be a Relief Pitcher. I'll put
all right. So Dave walks Tosh.
Honestly, we've seen Storm, a lot of the way he is handling Natalia kind of change halfway through the season. I wonder if somehow he got himself an advanced copy of your book.
I'll tell you, if we ever interview him, I'll go, what's the number rule? He'll go, always wait in the bullpen.
He's gonna talk like that. Yeah. Okay, so Dave walks Tosh back to the vans, and Yishka. This is awkward.
Oh boy.
He says himself he should stop hitting on her. Yeah. Stop what you're doing. But alas, he cannot. The texts, they get back to the boat.
Well, first off, when he's walking with her, he says, you still with that guy? And then she's like, just basically, will you get out of here?
Please stop. But then the texts start to fly. And there was a weird camera angle, too. It was over the shoulder kind of, hey, watch this, boys, kind of shot. It was really, really strange. But we will find out the ruin that Dave has laid waste to their relationship in the morning. But before we get there, let's take a quick break. What's up?
I thought about the text because
what's up?
Thank God Dave uses WhatsApp because he had those messages deleted that were definitely calling her a fucking bitch and shit.
Right.
So he's just... He learned his lessons. Before, they were texting back and forth live, so he couldn't delete it.
Right.
And that's why that camera angle is so important.
Got it. Okay.
Did you see that where it said?
Yeah, no, I did. I was confused about whose phone it was, and WhatsApp is such a unique application that Facebook was somehow allowed to acquire so that they could not die. But
Dave was a little bit of a winner from BravoCon 22. Ladies love Dave. He took his shirt off during the panel.
Yeah, big six-pack. So let's get to the next morning, but before we do, let's take a quick break to talk about these wonderful sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Betterhelp. Hey, I'm sure that we've all wished at different times, this kooky thing called life, I wish there was a user manual for it. Nothing too complex, just something simple to help you break it down. But unfortunately, life doesn't come with one of those. So when it's not working for you, it's normal to feel a little stuck. You know what I mean? Therapists are trained to help you unstick yourself, okay? BetterHelp has, it's just, I haven't done it, but Pat has done it. Pat has the kindest things in the world to say about it, right? Because I know what it's like to try to find an in-person therapist. So does Pat. He says BetterHelp is infinitely easier. Everyone deserves to feel their best. BetterHelp makes it easier to get started on that, okay? All the benefits of in-person therapy, plus it's more convenient, more accessible, and more affordable, okay? Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/belowdeck. Again, that is BetterHelp, HELP.com/belowdeck to get 10% off your first month. Don't worry about life. You'll handle it with BetterHelp. You want to hear a not-so-dirty little secret about the bedding aisle? While cotton might be the most popular fabric for sheets, duvets, pillowcases, it's also the most damaging for our planet. Even organic cotton takes its toll. That's why I'm so thrilled to introduce to you Attitude, made from naturally organic bamboo. Attitude sheets are made without toxic chemicals and use 99% less water than cotton. Plus, they're silky soft, so they're comfortable for you and for the environment. You may be thinking, bamboo sheets? What about velvet? What about silk? What about wool? You know, all these things are really comfortable to sleep in. No, listen to me. I didn't know this, but bamboo's the way to go. We got some of these sheets. Attitude sent us a couple. I've been sleeping like I'm some type of cherub in the clouds. That's what it feels like right now. You can get 20% off your order plus free shipping when you visit ettitude.com/belowdeck and enter in promo code belowdeck. Remember, that's Ettitude, ETTITUDE, as in eco attitude. Order today for free shipping and 20% off your order at ettitude.com/belowdeck and use promo code belowdeck. Sleep well, sleep good for the environment.
Next morning.
So the texts are back on the table in the morning. I feel for Ursula a little bit. And also not, because I think that this is 80 to 90% Dave's fault. But let's not pretend like there haven't been a few percentage points going Natasha's way. You know, the winks and the history and the thoughts of not liking to be alone and that Dave is nice to cuddle. There's some friction in the air between them. But Dave, you know it's not good for you. And she said no numerous times. Stop it.
She's absolutely leaving breadcrumbs for simps out there,
right.
And he's picking them up. It's mostly his fault. No one's forced him to eat those breadcrumbs,
right.
But she's leaving them.
I will say this. The way she handled it, I didn't see the text. Did they show it to her? But it was basically, let's keep this professional moving forward.
Right.
That's the best thing you can say.
Yeah. Dave, don't make us side with...
I wanted to call my buddy. But again, it wouldn't help anything. It wouldn't help matters.
Don't make us side with the antagonist of The Little Mermaid, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We got to move on
to
the preference sheet meeting.
Dun, 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 dun.
Charter 8.
Charter 8.
Shouldn't this be the end?
Primaries. We have one more, unfortunately.
Will you turn that frown upside down, please?
Oh, I'm happy. I love talking about this show.
Gerald and Catherine Miller, both successful entrepreneurs from West Hartford, Connecticut, and have had their products showcased on cable shopping networks, which is the bar of successful entrepreneurs.
Sure. I watched Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I ran out of time. I did want to look into it. If they're on the episode next week, maybe I'll add an addendum. They are no strangers to luxury boats and have had their own 58-foot sailing yacht, which Gerald captained. Now, with Gerald out of the bridge and onto the sun deck, they are looking forward to celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary and having the crew tend to their every need. Leela.
Is it weird? I don't like that name for a white guy. It's like there are plenty of like, I don't know, it makes sense for a black guy to be named Gerald, but I don't. It's weird. It's like a weird.
Well, I hate that name because I have a person that had that name that sued me. So,
Was he white or black?
he was white.
Yeah, very litigious, the white Geralds.
Yeah, they are. Especially the ones from Canada.
I had a friend, Gerald Nussmeyer, in college, but he was white, but he was super black.
They don't know who they are, these white Geralds.
He was always rolling blunts in his dorm room and listening to pretty much anything G Unit.
Yeah,
that was Gerald Nussmeyer.
Yeah, he was appropriating back then, but he hadn't been taught yet. So hopefully he has changed his ways. What's up with the rest of the preference sheeting? Also, Very awkward that I brought that up, so I apologize to each and everybody listening.
Gerald, despite his weed habit, was also a 4.0 student at the Carlson School of Management, a pretty difficult business school to get into.
dude.
I couldn't get in there. Anyways, she's looking. Leela is their youngest daughter and is a yacht broker and the party animal of the group. She is looking forward to her 21st birthday. How do you party if you're not 21?
Yeah.
Huh? Maritime law?
Yeah.
On board with some shots of Don Julio 1942. And how would you know what that tastes like? Grace, a senior in college, grew up sailing. She has high standards and expects the crew to deliver pure excellence.
Sorry, is there a more...
It's crazy how much I've loosened the reins and allowing this. But yeah, go ahead.
Is there a more pathetic ruse cast on people with a little bit of money more than Don Julio 19? It's just fucking...
I thought I was going to be cheugy by bringing up how cheugy that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic.
It's cheugy as fuck.
It's cheugy as fuck. It's all about fucking Casamigos now.
Dos hombres. You know, Aaron Paul, that racist Aaron Paul's tequila. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm a racist. Cue the music behind me.
All these white
I'm a
people
racist.
fucking ravaging the agave and culturally appropriating from the Mexican culture.
Exactly,
It
dude.
disgusts
It's
me.
disgusting me.
Also joining Leela and Grace's Leela and Grace's boyfriends Kevin and Isaac. Kevin is a professional dirt bike racer and Isaac is a college lacrosse player. Additionally, Tenley and Bent. God, it's crazy how Duke lacrosse. Actually, just those detectives sullied the name of lacrosse players. They didn't even do it. She lied the whole time, but no one remembers that. Kevin, longtime family friends of the Millers, will be hitting the high seas with them. They are ready for some strong martinis and a much-needed vacation. For their anniversary, Gerald and Catherine have requested a salsa instructor to teach them some moves. For Leela's 21st birthday dinner, she would like an elegant and classy 5-course meal. Being an active family, they've also requested a yoga instructor for day 2 of their charter. And yeah, that's it. They want the water twice.
What was the
they
thing
love the
that-
water.
did-
They're not
good
going to be
luck
able to
with
do
that.
it. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it. That concludes it.
Did the whole team rape her? Was that the thing?
That's what they said happened, but no one.
The whole team? My God.
Well, that DA, he went after those boys to ruin their names.
How have there not been there's probably has been a documentary.
Oh, there's two of them.
Oh, it goes back to last week's PMZ. Everybody check out PMZ, $10 tier, patreon.com/Another Podcast Network.
Did that guy Brock get off because his daddy paid the judge? You remember that guy Brock?
Who's Brock?
Fucking kill that kid.
He raped some girl behind a dumpster. That guy did it.
That
He
guy did it. That guy is that guy should be chemically castrated. So,
Brock Lesnar, that was the name.
yeah, Brock Lesnar. God, how can I forget? He's got that big sword tattooed on his chest.
And that rich daddy.
So, enough about all that tea. Let's get to the climactic moment. The interior team meets. Natalia versus Kyle.
Well, at the end of the preference sheet, Sandy basically tells everybody that they're not sure they're going to get off the dock. And to which, if I was a charter guest paying $60,000, I would say, no leaving the dock, no money.
Well, no, you can't do that. What you can do is never go on this kind of vacation because it's not 7-star service. Where'd you get those other 2 stars? I mean, my God.
Same note.
But also there is, and we've tried to do the math, but I think there's correct me if I'm wrong, is there a 92% chance that you're not going to leave the dock? So why pay for sea rats to serve you and you have a 50% chance of just not leaving the dock? One of the worst ways to spend money possible. So Natalia lays out that Kyle has called her a bitch numerous times. And he essentially says, I do agree that I called you a bitch. Big of you, Kyle. And he also says that the first time he called her a bitch, he felt bad. And that the second time he called her a bitch, he did it to her face. And again, I'll say, big of you, Kyle. Mm-hmm. He nasty, man.
Well,
He nasty.
I mean, he's a sassy gay after all.
Yeah.
But I thought the interesting, so there's a quick turn here.
Dude, speaking of sassy gays, you've lamented the fact that you're not gay and you can't get away with squeezing and pretending to gyrate and stuff like that because you are a heteronormative threat to the safety of women.
Of course, yes.
But this is where that line, you step over it when you're, I'm sure Andy Dick could go, hey, bitch, like that. And people be fine with it. But now Kyle has gone too far with this and he gets a longer leash. So that is an indication of just how nasty he is.
Yes. Well, we'll see. Everybody, I don't know who it said. It was a great man. He said, when you're at your highest moment, that's when the devil will come for you. And I think Kyle.
Is that Will Smith?
That was Will Smith.
Oh, no, that was Denzel to Will Smith.
Oh, is that
after
right?
he punched Chris Rock.
Is that where I got that from?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Denzel's the man.
I believe Kyle
Denzel is the man.
is at his highest moment. And I think that's when the devil will come for him.
Right.
That's a great point. Great point.
Great point.
So they quickly get over this, which I thought was fascinating because he's not apologizing for calling her a bitch, and I think I'm ready to have like a sequel to that dinner the other night. And I don't know what Tasha said, but she basically said, "Hey, can we just work together better?" And suddenly, like, cue the music. Everybody's hugging each other.
Yeah.
And then they're all smiles. And Nat presents a new rule: no more shit talking about people. And Kyle quickly responds, "Well, we mean just not about us, right?
Yeah.
We can still backstab other people."
We covered it last week. 99% of the fun is talking shit about people.
Yeah.
We've already removed 2 people that we can't talk shit about. So,
But Kyle, at a corporate meeting, all right, I think we have that rule established. We'll discuss not talking shit about others at a later date.
right. We'll send around a memo. So, yeah, it ends the only way it could with Kyle beginning to cry and the 3 of them hugging. So, moving on.
He did talk about how they kind of gave him a redemption moment, it's just like my defense mechanism. I was bullied when I was in high school.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
fry me a fucking river.
And then they showed some of the pictures of Kyle when he was younger, and if you recall, he did say he came out just a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Who do you think you were fooling, Kyle? He was the absolute last person to know.
Right.
I mean, he was wearing lipstick when he was 17.
But he's really
wow,
he's pretty big, though.
Well, what's that supposed to be?
I wouldn't want to. High school bullying in high school it's a game of size.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You pick on the weaklings. That's why I was picked on. That's why they took my glasses and they hid them in lockers and I couldn't see anything and I had to cry and go get the head of the camp.
Is this when Ashley Olsen made fun of your socks?
No, that was Mary Kate or.
She was a bully too, Dylan.
I remember your clip.
You could have taken her down.
Your story is a great APS clip. Love that bully story one.
So, Natasha. No, first really creepy line from Reed. Wow, this is coming off beautifully. Reed. Fuck, dude. Natasha makes coffee and Dave pulls this weird thing where he goes, "Don't worry, I'll make my own." Dave, you gotta chill, man. It's coming off so weird. It's coming off so fucking weird and pathetic. She doesn't want it, but kind of does, but more so doesn't. So just stop moping. It's very unbecoming. We get ready for the guests. A lot of youngins here, and I like that because oftentimes wealthy youths are petulant little assholes, and that turned out to be the case. The dad is in Gucci's that look like Vans, and these people are not happy about leaving the dock. These people are
They're
going
not happy about not leaving the dock.
By the way,
about not leaving the dock. These
wanna-
people are going to suck.
You want to know the first rule of cheugy? Acknowledging the fashion that you're wearing. She's like, "Oh, Dad, are you wearing?"
You're wearing your Gucci's, and also they look like Vans. So why
And
did
by
you
the
get
way,
those?
You're 50, and one tell of old guys that are lame is they think by wearing the cool new shoes. I was in a meeting, I'll leave the name out, where both the CEO and the fucking owner of the company, both one in their 60s, one in their late 70s, and they were comparing their shoes that they just bought with each other. I was like, "You guys are so fucking lame. I hope you buy my bag of bullshit I'm trying to sell you."
Real
Wanna
wealth.
own your ass.
You should have worn nice shoes. Evidently, they're into that.
Real wealth has brandless, expensive clothing.
Richest guy I ever met. You'd never know he drives a pickup truck. It's worth $1 billion.
Alec Trebek, kid went to my school, just drove a normal pickup truck.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, very, very down-to-earth guy. All right, so the dad is in Gucci's. We're moving on. We're getting a little tour, and the mom says, "Hot tub looks a little dirty." Also, a lot of "I want to go in the oceans." Yeah, well, you can't. Yeah. So Natasha gives us a little history on what these people are like. The people that are in the yachting world, they stress test the standard of excellence on these boats, like Dave Chang's pop. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Dave and Tosh get into another little tiff. Again, Dave, you just got to cool it, man. You got to cool it. Don't make us side with Natasha. We don't want to do that. Storm and Courtney go out to see if they can
Make
go
sure,
out.
Well, they want to make sure if they go out, they won't kill everybody.
But this was teased before we got to commercial break.
Yes, it was.
This was Courtney and Storm going out. Very dangerous. And once again, we have one of these above deck things. Bravo. Fucking stop it. This is not a 007 film, okay? We know that everybody's going to be okay. Otherwise, we would have news reports coming out
Someone
months
killed
ahead of
on
time.
the scene of Below Deck.
Stop.
And we would have been teased with it 8,000 times already.
Like that guy who almost
1,000
lost a
times.
fucking leg.
And congratulations on your recent engagement, Ashton.
Pray for her. So, Saki Bombs gets sucked down and Storms gets on the blower to Rico. But let's get to lunch. Prawn, avocado, and spicy salmon. It looks beautiful. Thank you, but what about the food, says Kyle. Not one of your best. That's the kind of line that elicits forced laughter. You know what I mean? So that he's not uncomfortable, right?
Right.
Like, you got to go, so that he's not uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. The primary says, this was good, but what comes next? And herein lies the insatiability of the Western obsession with more, right, guys? More.
Pat Riley called it the disease of more.
Yes, it's the disease of more and the death grip that we have on the self. You know, we were talking about this before the mics heated up, all of us. And, you know, we were talking about how Sidartha said that there are 5 aggregates that make up the self and that we're not in control of a single one of them, which begs the question, who am I? What is me? You know what I mean? So be present. Your shoes are fucking cheugy. Moving on, the wontons are polished off and we've got to take a break to talk about these wonderful sponsors.
Our next partner has a product that I use literally every day. I started taking AG1 to get my goose going in the morning, you know, get myself rocking and up throughout the day. That's how you want to do it. You know, what is the stuff? It's 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced ingredients, probiotics, and adaptogens. Do you even know what those are? Well, look into it and look into getting Athletic Greens. You know why? Because it's lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto. I always say that keto because it's right next to paleo, but no, keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, all of it is working with you and it's working with Athletic Greens. Your subscription comes with a year's supply of vitamin D also, which is so important to add in these winter months when we don't get as much sunlight. Also, listen, Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews. You don't need to listen to us, okay? Just listen to those people, all right? 7,000 of them to make it easy. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/below-deck. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/below-deck to take ownership over your health. Pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Guess what time it is? You guessed right, it's time to get sexy, okay? I want you to meet Dip, all right? Dame's intuitive, introductory vibrator, okay? Whether Dip is your first vibrator or the toy that helps you rediscover what feels good for you, it's designed to be unintimidating and to encourage pleasure exploration without shame, okay? Listen, this is price accessible, okay? It's only $49. Dip is a widely accessible vibrator with exceptional performance. I mean, you gotta listen, man. I mean, and woman, it's perfect for play, okay? Dip can be used both internally and externally, allowing you to explore what feels good for you. You want to shove it up, you want to buzz it around, do whatever you want, okay? You can purchase it at dameproducts.com, okay? And what we want you to do is go to that website, right? And then use promo code BELOWDECK for 15% off your first order, okay? Go to dameproducts.com, use promo code BELOWDECK to get 15% off your first order. Get sexy with Dame and dip into it.
So the guests head out to
some boring place.
I didn't think it was boring at all. I didn't think it was boring.
Yeah, you're supposed to be on a yacht out in the middle of the ocean, looking really like you're a king or a queen from like Saudi Arabia. Like, hey, what are those people? Holy shit, is that a 90-foot slide? I want to be those people. When they're at this site, you're like, me and the family, we got a deal on Trip Masters.
I was
Let's watch some cannons, kids.
I was going back and forth with it because at first it seemed like a chore. Oh, let's get off the yacht. That's a completely opposite of why I got the vacation. I wanted to be in this one spot. But then when I saw the cannons, I got pretty excited. And then when they got to pick up the balls and they pretended they were giant anal beads, that looked fun to me. I was in.
Bro, you're watching a fucking cannon go off. Like, it's fucking cool. Stop talking about going out in the water. Be present. You don't have any control of the 5 aggregates. There is no you. Jesus. So Storm heads up.
What have you been listening
The
to?
Storm heads up for another cuddle, right? But he's in the good book, says Natalia. What does that mean? I was thinking, I think it means the best possible outcome for Storm, I think, is a hickey. I think that's the best possible outcome for Storm.
I think a handy.
I was going to say handy, but not to completion.
Oh, no. Just feeling around
Yeah,
there.
just
like,
tickling.
whoa.
Which I actually like, just a light. I mean, that's too much. I would
Okay,
say
so
that's too much, what I
Reed
just said.
stands atop the tower and says, "This certainly isn't Alabama." No, it's not, Reed. Alabama is a fucking bog. So we're getting ready for dinner. It's my favorite, paella. The unfortunate thing is that I'm not sure Dave will be able to achieve the socarrat as he has a big poopy diaper right now.
Well, he's got a case of that I don't give a fuck it. It's a serious disease. It causes people who are supposed to serve people paying $60,000 a day to not give a fuck. His mind is
Right.
elsewhere. Dave, come on, brother.
I figured that out by the name of the disease.
A case of I don't give a fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like something out of a sketch comedy show, his OTFs. He's like, it's hard to process. No chance. Thought there was, but there's no chance. I just want to run away. Dave, focus on the socarrat, man. There are plenty of other fish in the sea.
Hey, and there is no self, Dave. Be present.
5 aggregates, man.
Episode title.
What someone would say, does a king have control over his kingdom? Well, yes, but are you in control of those 5 components? No. So you're not the king of your own domain, meaning there is no I. Pat?
Well, I was going to talk about Dave because I like Dave. Dave's
That's a
buddy.
heavy YouTube rabbit
But
hole.
I'm going to compare Dave to Superman. All right, but you guys will understand the similarities right here.
Right.
Superman lost his power when kryptonite was present.
3 doors down.
Yeah. But Dave, not seeing Tasha's tits, takes away his will to live and cook.
Right. So the guests get ready.
It's his kryptonite.
The guests get ready for a Spanish feast, and Timeshare's got to make sure the guests are happy, right? Because it's one of those charters.
Hey, how's dinner?
We are celebrating 25 lovely years of marriage, and in that time, only 2 assistants fucked behind closed doors. So we now know that these people are class, right? We know that yachting is class, right? It's all elegance. So what is our first drink? Tosh has prepared leg spreaders.
I'm just so glad. I guess it would have been good TV, but I don't know if I would have been able to handle it had she presented those as leg spreaders to them. I was like, please don't.
Please do. Tosh and the guy that sold me Coke for the first time make the exact kind of drink. They make the exact kind of drink. So dinner is a lot and not good. It's like a Cece's pizza. Quantity over quality. We've got rye bread with cacao. Interesting. Want to try it. We've got Spanish tortillas. Tortillas. It did not look like there was the correct amount of browning achieved, but that's a personal preference for me when I make my tortillas.
I
Okay?
also like a nice brown, a little bit of brown on the tortilla.
Yeah, on a tortilla. Now, do yourself a favor. Sunday morning, wake up early, put a good movie on with a partner. Make a tortilla, okay? A couple potatoes, couple onions, some eggs, good olive oil, and a little mayonnaise and lemon. Make it thin and drizzle that right over the top. Little parsley just to make it look a fish. You will have a fantastic morning unless you're watching St. Elmo's Fire, which is one of the worst films ever made in the history of American cinema.
Great soundtrack by John Parr, though.
Dude,
I can see the oceans flying. I can
Rob Lowe is
St. Elmo's fire.
Rob Lowe is a rapist, I think.
Yeah.
And also plays saxophone
Saxophone.
for 15 minutes straight of that movie.
Oh, by the way, Joe
So bad.
Schumacher, but overrated movie. This is when everyone was doing coke and no one knew any
Well,
better.
everyone was trying to reproduce the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
It was like 16 Candles in the Breakfast Club. We got to get back to the show.
Sure.
God, that movie makes me so
It's
mad.
horrible. I was
It's
told
nonsense.
I needed to think it was awesome as a kid. There's a famous scene where Ali Sheedy and I forget the other actor who was also a movie star at the time. Joel Schumacher's like, you guys are supposed to have sex, and he screams at him, "Start fucking! You're supposed to be fucking!"
Right.
I don't think that would pass the mustard
No,
in
it would
2022.
not. Olivia Wilde would be dragged to that kind of direction. So we've also got little bowls of roasted broccoli. Yuck.
Oh.
We've got battered cod and manchego, fried fish and cheese, huh? And then the daughter at this point has fucking had it. Okay, she says this is supposed to be 7-star service. Well, I mean, you got half off on a yacht vacation because you can't afford a real yacht vacation, so calm the fuck down. The paella is served. Didn't get a clean enough look, but hearing these people who think that Don Julio 1942 is the creme de la creme, I don't really take their criticisms of the dish with too much salt. The worst thing you can levy at a paella is gummy. Crispy is not one of them. You know, it's like a Spanish tadique kind of quality. If there's not a little crisp, we've talked about it so many times, the socarrat's supposed to be there. So 7 stars, what are you talking about? Crispy, what are you talking about? Go to bed. Maybe we'll get out of the ocean tomorrow. I don't like you.
When we eventually get invited to BravoCon, you should moderate a panel with only below deck chefs.
I would
It would be
love
incredible.
that. It would be much better if they got a chef of note, but I think it would be a hoot.
Or maybe we just try to get like Dave and Rachel on the Zoom. I would love to just hear you fucking.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that'd be fun.
Either way, Dangerous Dave, you did the 25th anniversary of their wedding dirty, brother.
43 pots, dude. Oh, you know what? No, 25 pots. 1 pot for each year.
Nice.
So, Reed likes the blonde. Shocker. She looks like the entire campus of Alabama. And Kyle eats shit and begins to weep. We get smacked with another very dramatic TBC, and we are on our way to episode 16
Yeah,
or 17.
I wonder if Kyle's able to walk after that fall.
Who knows, man?
We don't know.
He actually gained points back with me, his comedic fall and the way he was. He looked like
He did Will Ferrell in Austin Powers too when they threw the people.
Yeah.
Oh, he did that. He did that sound. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm very badly hurt. I'm burnt, but I'm still alive. But I thought the way he was laying there was like Jim Carrey on the
You
tarmac
shot
of
me.
Liar Liar.
Yes.
He just completely flat. I
And
appreciated
he
it.
made the same noise that you made when you got on that roller coaster at the county fair. So that's it for us. iTunes ratings and reviews.
no, I want your
YouTube.
money. Patreon.
Patreon. Tell your friends, tell your family. We love you very much for supporting us. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Bon voyage.
Pat.
Bye, guys.